This episode is for Friday, January 23rd, 2015. Welcome, Meteor fans. I'm your host, Josh Owens, along with my co-host,
Rye Walker.
Welcome, Rye.
What's up?
Yeah, got working mics and computer and all that good stuff this week.
Yeah, magic.
We are on the ball, so to speak. All right, so this week we actually have a longer list than usual. Bonus for you guys, listeners.
Mm-hmm.
And watchers if you're watching YouTube live. So we're going to talk about Meteor 103. We're going to talk about user cycle. Rye's going to take the cover off user cycle here and talk about it. Magellan, Neo4j, driver for Meteor, reactive SVGs, GitHub feature requests, and why Meteor. All right, and just real quick, I'm going to start doing pre-roll ads. We got a sponsor. Modulus has agreed to sponsor for the year, so woohoo, go Modulus. They love our content. They love us. So
we love them.
Yeah. So I've already started buying like better audio equipment since they sponsored too. Like it's in another room, but I got a nice new studio headphones I got to bring in here.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll do a quick ad here, and then I'll do the pre-roll in the major podcast. But I've searched the galaxy high and low for the best Meteor hosting platform, and I think it's Modulus.io. You guys should check them out. What do you think, Rye?
I don't host my Meteor apps anywhere but Modulus.
Yeah, that's the only place in the galaxy you host your Meteor apps?
That's it.
Modulus.io?
Until another galaxy exists. That's the only one I know about.
All right. Yeah, so first up is Meteor 1031. We're getting into the good old Ruby pattern, Rails pattern here, I guess, where a patch release comes out immediately after a regular release.
Yeah, that's a sign that people are watching.
Or not enough people are RC testing, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't RC test, did you?
I did not, but I did see some people on that the one mailing list. They said some stuff about testing it on apps, so felt like if they said it, I didn't need to.
Yeah.
But I did, it's funny, I spent all week working on quite a bit of testing. Did a testing class, and I'm working on tests for my client, so I think having tests in place could help with upgrades, right?
Yeah.
Confidence in upgrades. So it looks like the big things that they did here, they revamped Meteor Show to actually spit out the READMEs now, and they've added the eJSON flag to the Meteor Show command, so you can get JSON spit out from that. So now you can kind of script that thing if you wanted to, which is getting kind of interesting. Let's see.
Have you ever used? I've never used Meteor Show or Meteor Search.
I haven't, but I think I might now, especially with the READMEs being in here, because there's just times where I go to Atmosphere and it's like it just doesn't work like you want. So, I don't know. Yeah, so they supported the READMEs. Now you can use velocity on packages. So when you run the test packages, you can tell it to use velocity instead of their tiny test stuff, which is kind of awesome.
All right.
I still haven't tried that yet myself, but I think anything would be better than tiny test is okay, but I think Mocha and Jasmine can be a lot stronger for people. Yeah, there's a lot of smaller changes in here. Trying to see if there's anything that looks particularly crazy to me. Not really. They upgraded jQuery.
Oh, they did. Okay, well, there's something.
Yeah, jQuery went from 1.11.12, or no, it went to 1.11.2 from 1.11.0. So it's tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny. Yeah, other than that, it just looks like a lot of bug fixes. Only a few new things here.
Yeah, that's good.
Should be easy for you. You should be upgraded.
Yes.
Why are you waiting? Get it done.
Yeah. All right. Am I up? I'm
Yeah.
up. All right, cool. So yes, we've been working on User Cycle for about 11 weeks now, and one of the things I wanted to make sure we did was make it easy for Meteor apps to use it, because it's designed for user retention. Like basically the heart of your online business is, will people stick around on whatever you've built, right? And so everyone should be measuring this. Nobody is, because it's hard or the tools are expensive, and User Cycle is a free tool that we've made it really dead easy to set up with Meteor. If you're using Iron Router, which most people are using Iron Router, you can add our Meteor events package, and it'll automatically send all route hits to Segment.
Nice.
To Segment, and then from Segment you can send it anywhere you want. And I also think you should use Segment too, because it gives you flexibility to let like your non-technical people choose what's going on with all that data that's coming out of your website. So sends it to Segment. For us, it goes to Keen. Then from Keen, it goes to User Cycle. There's this chain of things, but it's really easy to do. It's like, I mean, literally, I'm setting it up for Creator. Actually, I use Creator in the demo videos. It's not live with Creator because I'm waiting for the new version of Creator to come out.
No pressure, Nick. No pressure.
No pressure, Nick. We're waiting though. But no, it's like so easy to get a pretty cool chart on just like how your users are sticking around on your app. For any Meteor app, this is trivial. It's pretty much free. If you don't have a lot of traffic, Segment's free, Keen is free, and User Cycle's free. So no excuses other than it takes some time,
Yeah, nice.
So.
But this is tracking like post sign up, right?
Yeah. So like once you sign up, like I think there's a ton of tools. Like your post you did last week was cool, but it was about the funnel pre-sign up.
Right.
And like if you have a SaaS product, or especially a freemium product, this is where it really matters. Is you want to make sure you're building something that people stick around and use. It also helps you figure out like, are you getting the right kind of signups? This source is retained better than that source.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, well, I think that intelligence is important when you're building an app, because then like, hey, let's go dump less money in Facebook because those guys only stick around for 2 weeks and never pay us, versus all these people on Twitter are amazing payers, and their life cycle value or their lifetime value, customer value is $400. Like, of course it's a no-brainer to go pay $2 a user off Twitter.
Yeah. And so like the interesting thing is a lot of apps when they launch that they go down to zero. Retention will approach zero as time goes on. Like we see this with Assistant even. A lot of the products we've made or we see clients make, it's a matter of time before that cohort goes to zero, And that's like basically says like until you fix that problem, don't do anything else other than have a product that at least 1 out of 100 people will stick around for on average. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people like get through that first hump, and it's hard because like how do you build something people want? Well, that's the magic question, right? It has to be the right product for the right price, all these kinds of things. But anyway, User Cycle helps you keep track of all that, and kind of like QuickBooks does.
And so like I can peek a little behind the curtain here too, because I was there when you guys were getting started with it. Like This was a Rails app, right? And it's no longer a Rails app?
No, it's a Meteor app. The Rails app still exists at classic.usercycle.com, but we're shutting that down any day now. It's like shutting things down is such a pain in the ass, Like you have to send an email, you have to like make sure people have time to do whatever, and so it's like it needs to be shut down, but we're just procrastinating.
Yeah. All right, next. Magellan.
Magellan. Yeah, it's funny you gave me this one because this is a competing Meteor blog.
Well, yeah, so it's got the same title, but it's not actually competing, right? Like this is a whole app versus a package.
No, I think it's awesome. There's someone I don't know, Alejandro Gomez looks like. Don't know him from the Meteor world yet, so we're going to keep getting more and more people jumping in. Saw a need to have a blog package. He was inspired by the Discover Meteor site and built something with Meteor to make it happen. So that's awesome. I think it's.
So I think he said the Meteor. He said a different book. It was like Getting Started with Meteor or something. The one David Turnbull wrote, I believe.
Oh.
He said he was inspired by the patterns in there.
He said by the Meteor book, and when I click it, it goes to Discover Meteor, but maybe.
Oh, okay, maybe I misread it then.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yep. So I don't know. Maybe he has the wrong link in there. Either way, it's inspired by something, and it's a Meteor app that is a blog.
Well, to me, like the greatest thing, like the best way for people to learn is to read code, and I love, like, every time we see an open source app get posted, like, I love that. I want to see some people start using it, play around with it, like, contribute back to it. You're going to make the community stronger, and it's going to be easier for new people to come into the community, you know? So,
Yep.
I mean, even it's been, what, a month since I started working on eight days of Meteor, you know, I felt like I didn't have enough open source examples. I only had like 4 maybe, and I feel like I kept pointing the same ones, and now, like, in the last, like, we've doubled in the last month, so it's awesome.
Yep, it is.
I love it. Keep it up, guys.
Yes.
All right. Neo4j. So if you're not familiar, Neo4j, I believe, is a graphing database. Have you guys used Neo4j at all?
I've never used Neo4j.
Yeah. So this is the link that was on Crater pointed to the neo4j.com website, and they have announced that there is now a driver available. I have not used it. I do not know the status of it, but they do have a pseudo-reactive driver, they called it, and a connector. So it looks like there's probably enough here to get started with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've recommended Neo4j to people. They're like, hey, I need a graph database. I'm like, Neo4j is the one. I don't know anything about it, but it's what people seem to like.
Well, yeah, but I think David's working on a project with Instagram, right? Like, Neo4j would probably make sense right there.
I know. It's funny you say that because I'm literally copying and sending it to him right now.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I wish I would have had this, like. You know, I was trying to do this with Postgres, and I think I settled on Redis and doing, like, overlap queries using Redis. But, like, Neo4j would have been awesome back then.
Yeah. So quick digression on that, because you mentioned David. So David's David Pierce. He's a designer who is learning Meteor, and he's like, you would be really proud of him, Josh. He's like going all the way back to the depths of. He's working on a product called FameHub. By himself, you know, so he's doing the whole Meteor app himself, which is crazy. Wow. But he was like super proud yesterday because he's like, I got Redis working. You know, he actually like is using the Node Redis driver to use Q, and he's like all the way back into that stuff to do jobs to make his jobs more efficient.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I give a talk like my year with Meteor, and one of my, I think, most awesome moments in coming to Meteor is the fact that, like, David just was able to jump in. Like, he felt totally lost with Rails and Ruby, and you know, when he came into Meteor, like, he immediately understood it, took ownership. Like, he ran the boilerplate for the longest time, and now Nick Wintage is taking over, and he's more of a classic designer as well. So it's kind of funny, like, the people maintaining the boilerplate are designers. So
yeah. I mean, if you're maybe because they start so many projects, that actually could be it. You know, like they have the concept and they gotta like get it started. So yeah, because I haven't started with a boilerplate in a long time now. So cool.
All right.
Side trip ended.
Yes.
Reactive SVGs is our next topic. So this is a little Meteor pad that we found on Crater.
This is Dean. Good old
Dean?
Yeah, Chicago Grooves.
Oh man, he's gonna be so happy we mentioned his name on the podcast. He's been saying, when can I come back on the podcast? Well, you're kind of on the podcast right now, Dean.
Nowish?
We should have called him in. But anyway, this SVG, it's a real simple little Meteor pad where he's got some controls that you can move around and click to change the SVG, and it's all reactive, of course, because it's all the variables are pumping through Blaze, and JavaScript is reactive to when the data changes, and so you can change. I don't know what he uses this for, but it's a good demo of, again, reactivity of Meteor.
Well, SVG can be anything, right? Like, you can draw anything on canvas with SVG.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's pretty awesome. Like I love that we have that kind of Meteor Pad tutorial there. Which
do you ever use Meteor Pad? I never use Meteor Pad either. Like this.
So I've started to, and it's funny you should mention that because like the February Meteor Club Q&A is with Mike Rissy, who made Meteor Pad, and you know, I kind of want to focus the Q&A that way. But yeah, I've started using it for, funnily enough, 8 Days of Meteor as well, because I wanted a way to share code with people. But not like GitHub, like I have to permission people to get access to it, and that didn't seem quite right either. So Meteor Pad's got the features I need, and so I've been playing with it.
It's a cool way to do it, to just share a little demo. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you can give them the code, and you can give them a link to a working demo, but this actually gives you editable code with the working demo. So this is definitely, maybe it's a little bit more work to share, but I like it.
Yeah, and it's awesome too because MDG's like fully thrown their support behind it. They pay for all the hosting costs that are associated with it. So
awesome.
Officially sanctioned.
Cool.
All right, I am going to quickly open my Q&A, and I will say if you are watching live, feel free to start popping in some questions. We may take one or two at the end. Now's your chance if you want to know what we call our pink cat. Ben. All right, so next up, feature requests are now an allowed thing in the Meteor GitHub repo, which is an amazing thing. I think you know, I have been paying attention to Meteor discussions and the conversations that have gone on there, and I don't know, like it just felt, I'm glad they took the initiative, but at the same time, like some of the conversations made me a little uncomfortable that they were being had kind of outside of the, I don't know, watchful eye of Meteor. I don't know, like I like for them to give their input from time to time on things, you know, like you know, I've had a conversation with Glasser about the whole like Meteor methods versus allow deny rules, you know, and that stuff's valuable, I think, and I'd love to see more of that happen in a slightly more public place, not some random like one-off repo. And you know, I think I even emailed oh, now I can't think of his Slava. Gosh, wow, totally blew him out of my mind there. I emailed Slava about the fact that like they were talking about maybe forking Meteor in this discussion board, and it just didn't feel right. And so, you know, he said, you know, if people want to fork it, but you know, that maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know. But I do think that there was some influence of that kind of coming to play here, in the fact that now, you know, you're able to send in feature requests. And it looks like they will respond to it. And you know, that's the hardest part for me, like as a guy who wants to see something in Meteor. Will my pull request get merged, or will it be, you know, just completely denied and they're going to tell me to go make a package? And I mean, that's not a bad response, but at the same time, like I could have just gone and made the package rather than send them a pull request. So
yeah.
I think this is awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I see that. I'm looking at like the pull requests, and there are, you know, there's 48 open pull requests and 860 closed pull requests. So that's pretty good. They're not leaving people hanging too much.
Yeah.
And there are pull requests from non Meteor people here in the code. And you know, the issues are pretty clean too, like 2,300 closed ones and 300 open issues. So I think I'm glad that they're doing this. I think, you know, they basically said we would be lying to you if we told you we would pay attention to that until after 1.0. Well, it's after 1.0, and now they're following through on their promise to watch the issues. So I think it's great.
Well, to be fair, I mean, they were Glasser was put in charge of the issues and triaging them, and that was part of his pre 1.0. That was part of his job there.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think maybe like for bugs, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, yeah. So it's good. I mean, I haven't put anything in there, but I like that they've made that statement. Did they actually make that statement, or did someone just discovered it on someone like found it in the README?
Yeah, it was added to the README.
Yeah.
And the README says, as of January 2015, we do use GitHub to track feature requests from our community.
Yeah.
Feature request issues get the feature label, as well as the label corresponding to the Meteor sub-project that they're a part of.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. A little ad that they're hiring too, by the way. So.
Oh yeah. They say that in there too, don't they?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. We're hiring core developers. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Indeed. All right. Let's see. So the last one, you popped this in here. Why Meteor? A link to the Why Meteorpedia page.
Yep. Well, yeah. So literally today we were on a call with a prospect that has an app that's perfect for Meteor. But the call was great. Everything is good. But the question is like, why should we choose Meteor? Like, send me some resources about that. And so, of course, we've done some stuff on the differential site, why we like Meteor, all that. But I was looking for like third-party references, and like I stumbled across the Meteorpedia page, why Meteor, and like I was like, holy crap, this thing is dense. It's like super, super long now, and it's got a lot of really good stuff in there. And so I would encourage everybody. If you have some Why Meteor content, drop it in here. Let's make this the best page, because I actually think it popped up first when I searched for Why Meteor as well.
Did it really? That would be surprising to me.
No, it's up. It's number one, at least for mine. Google.
Yeah, it totally is. And then my blog post is number 2.
Yeah, I know. So and again, it's got. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are trying to defend the decision to try to move forward with Meteor. So if you don't know about this page, make use of it.
Yeah, definitely. Good stuff. So questions? Anyone? Bueller? So I will say, if you want to support the podcast, we've made even more progress to getting the next podcast off the ground. Go to patreon.com/Meteor Club. We've picked up 2 more people. I actually logged in ahead of time, so I'd have these names available. And I looked up one name ahead of time as well, Solye. And yes, that was one that was a little tricky for me. And then Daryl F. Are the two new Meteor Club Patreons, I don't know.
Patrons? No.
Patrons. Are you my patron?
No.
But yeah, so every week we're getting more and more people into the Slack chat room, and then fun stuff going on in there. As a matter of fact, Ben, the guy with the pink cat question last week, wrote a guest blog post, and we'll probably talk about it next week on here. So, fun stuff.
All right. I don't have anything else. This was a good one.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.